Hello and welcome to your twin flame reading for today, going into the weekend for the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies in your union, as well as the union energy between the two. So I did want to mention a little astrology for today, and let's make sure I just get it right and don't stumble over it here. Right, the square between Mars and Venus. I wanted to make sure I had the signs right, because I was reading over it and I'm like, oh, this is pretty juicy, and it makes sense, for my personal experience. So, see how it resonates for you. But Venus is in Cancer and squaring Mars in Aries, and so there's a square there between like that more divine feminine and divine masculine energy, as Venus is, generally considered divine feminine energy, right? And Mars masculine. Now, of course, we all have all these planets in our chart somewhere, and currently birth chart, all that. But anyways, Mars being in Aries is just like, it is a particularly masculine energy, and Venus being in Cancer, is very like nurturing, mothering, and stuff like that. And but then there's this, this part of you that wants to move forward. But what are you moving forward into? And depending on it, if you are divine masculine or divine feminine, that could have affected you differently, and you may just like notice it for the whole weekend, that sort of interesting energy of going within and seeing if perhaps like you took action to actually like more forward action than normal for like nurturing yourself in some way, and that felt really productive. So that could be, and for the divine masculine, it can also be like the same thing, but it could also be playing out in a more creative sense, and nurturing, or more like giving to yourself and also wanting to share, and like feeling kind of like sharing as a way of giving to yourself through creativity, or something that's a little bit more action oriented too. So something to feel into. And we'll just get started with this reading here. With the cards, the reading has started, but yeah. So today I have Eternal Crystals Oracle by Jade Sky, and I just pulled 3 cards all from that deck. Thought that would be nice, keep it kind of simple. Oh my goodness, it's warm in here. I turned the fan off so it wasn't like spinning over the thing, and that's all right. I guess there's like a lot of energy to this reading. I feel it. So we'll start the divine masculine, and the card, which is upside down, so a little extra emphasis here, is on business. Let's get down to business. So yeah, very nice highlighting what I just said. So I always love it when that happens, because it's like, oh, here we go, cool. But yeah, so number 12 is very much about like kind of bringing something to a completion, or moving on to that next level. And so this is about business, sacral chakra, but it is about creativity too, and it is about like really choosing your twin flame in that place of where you want to live your life purpose, and whatever business means to you, right? Whatever you do either as your occupation or what you would like to do, and really infusing your creative force into that place and grounding there. And so it's kind of a combo of inward and outward action, but there's a little more inward, like starting to kind of really play out, I feel, with Mars going retrograde soon, actually on the same day that 9/9 is. So if you like those, the numerology every month, well, that's happening on 9/9. So it's about really like also giving to yourself in that place, like feeling really nurtured in being creative and being productive, and like feeling really good about what you want to share and cultivating that within. And so finding a new level of truth, like in your inner reality that you're, and when you access that, you want to share it, right? Like that's what you want to do. So yeah, it's safe to do that and to feel really good about doing that, and that's definitely very interwoven with your life purpose and very attractive to your twin flame too. So let's just move on. Divine Feminine card is healing, heart chakra. Yeah, and this is very much, more so about like kind of the nurturing aspect. It's green, it's very soothing, cooling, very motherly. Green is sometimes associated with motherliness, being, mothering. We have the heart chakra and the sacral chakra here. So it is about like grounding more into your heart spaces too, for heart space 2 also, for both of you. And so the Divine Feminine has more of just like a little bit more of a healing trajectory kind of for today, for the weekend. Maybe you've already been feeling that way too, and it might just also be that you're having this wave of that to take you deeper, to really energizing you for that next level of how you both, want to live your purpose, even if at the moment you're doing something very different from your twin flame, or maybe you're doing the same thing together, but it's okay. Like it is always all coming together perfectly when you're really going as deep as you can at any given time. Or like, I guess deep is one way of putting it, but like basically you're going to the feelings within and accessing them, and seeing what you can do from that place that is like reasonable, basically. Like maybe you need to moonlight right now, or maybe like your purpose, you feel in your heart like that you would like to start another project than the one you're working on, but you recognize you haven't really laid that foundation yet. So it's safe to like, of course, like feel into your desires when they're brought to your attention, and also feel into like what is it that you can really reasonably give right now to your purpose in the way that's like gonna be good for now and long term, right? Like not like take from you one way or the other. So you always want to go deeper with balancing that too, and finding that place of peace. And like it's something that you get to master as you go. It's like, oh, that didn't feel so good when I chose to I didn't realize I was taking from myself there, but I can see how I did, and like how I had to heal, and that's okay. It's an experience. It's a learning experience if something like that happens, right? Or sometimes it could even be like, you think you have to do something, you have to, you have to like make a certain amount of money for XYZ, but and have you ever had this happen in hindsight? It's like, oh, maybe there were these other options, like did I need to do that? And maybe you did. I mean, you did it, right? So it's like, it's all leading you to your divine purpose, but it's also safe to look at things and be like, okay, I now resonate with this from my experience, and this, like, I no longer, like, this vibration of, what I feel when I think about that. I don't really need that at all. Like, no, thank you, basically. So yeah, growing wiser with God, and of course, always addressing anything that comes up as an upset too, with loving yourself through the mirror exercise. And the middle card is moon cycles, crown chakra. So yeah, it's safe to pay attention to the world around you, including the moon, or just like anything that that, like that gives naturally to you, that you naturally have a relationship with, which you could kind of say about anything. But yeah, like what do you regularly interplay with in your reality, like your and what natural things too as well. Like for me, for the first time in kind of, I don't know why it's like embarrassing to admit, I guess I've just been working a lot, but I mean, I live pretty close to the beach and I haven't gone in like months, literally, like not even for a quick walk. I mean, it's partly COVID too, but there are a lot of people there, so clearly like that didn't matter to them. But anyways, I went today for not very long, but I took a walk on the beach and it's really nice. I actually feel kind of emotional talking about it for some reason. It was just like a very, it's kind of a big deal. But for me, like that's what this card speaks to personally, is like, the tide relates to the moon, and having a relationship, like choosing to connect with what God is calling you to connect with. Like I really felt very called to do that today, and I listened because, part of me was like, well, I could just keep working. I don't really need to do these errands right now, and then I don't need to go out, and then I won't, then I won't go to the beach. I'll do it later or whatever. There's all kinds of things, or it's like, oh, I'll wait until I can really like actually, spend a whole day at the beach, or like whatever. But sometimes it's not time to do that other thing, but sometimes it is time to nurture yourself or break up a routine. And it's really important to listen to yourself and like where your energy is being called truly, because you always want to be giving to your foundation, and at some point you're most likely going to be directed to do something a little bit different, than you have been doing it for a while or normally do it. And it's a call to connect more deeply with God. And, like it's also really healthy just, from a neurological perspective to do things differently sometimes. Like even if you go on a regular walk, like I'll take a different way, just you can also do little things if you want to help with relating to the world, and it can also help to clear anywhere where you are still like numbing out or just not aware of something, like feeling your feelings. You're gonna have a different experience for yourself doing that, but you also don't want to like shy away from, getting down to business, doing your work, or like you don't need to go somewhere to heal, right? Like you can heal as you work. There's no difference between like healing and working and playing. But obviously like that doesn't mean like, okay, good, well then I guess I can spend 24 hours a day just, jamming out blog posts and I'll just have fun while I do it. So that's play, and I will also do the mirror exercise as I do it. So that's healing, and I will, when I sleep, I'll just like try my best to dream about ideas for my blog posts. Like that, like that's really, I don't know, pretty silly example, but you could see like the problem with that pretty easily, right? Like, okay, like also like what are you gonna have to share with people if you don't take some time to get inspired? Like what is this whole world here for? It is here to be loved, and you have your own way of loving the world, of loving God through everything. And so sometimes, you're just going to be called in another direction, but you just also want to pay attention to, like, just because you did it one day doesn't mean you need to necessarily do it the next. And like really look at what you're grounding into also, and also where you're feeling a little bit higher. Like pay attention to these things so that you can just like feel, how your energy is, and if something is actually feeling good and like a healthy thing that's really adding value to your life. And it'll just like get clearer and clearer. So yeah, the moon cycles, they're always going to be there too, right? So it's also a nice reminder, like if you don't get to go outside and look at the moon tonight, or you don't get to go to, the beach or the lake or river or whatever for another week or month or whatever it is, it's gonna be there, pretty much. And so these kinds of like things that are so embedded, like are so physically here for us, like it's so nice to be able to just depend on that. Like I know that when I need to, I will be able to go to the grocery store. I know that when I need to, this and that. And so yeah, it's safe to like just relax into these natural rhythms of things that just are, and also like how your personal schedule like has its own rhythm too, and how that also also has its like unique and changing qualities as well. Like each full moon is going to be in a different sign, until it goes back around, and each full moon is called something different for a reason and looks a little bit different. And, every trip you take to the store is going to be a little bit different, even if you get the same exact thing over and over again. So yeah, it's just like that quality of having something both be like a unique experience and keeping it fresh, but also appreciating the things that do fall into cycles and allowing that to just like take you, like into a really grounded, nice, peaceful place. It's like feels very supportive, by God, by the divine, to like have all of these things in your reality. And it's also really helpful for your twin flame journey, because it's just like your twin flame is right there with you in this cycle, and so the more that you really relax into your true cycle, your true rhythm and nature, and all of that has to do with the harmony of where your union is. Like, am I saying that right? Like, I think so, but basically, you're vibrating in harmony with the union that you already have within. Like you're attuning your whole vibration with that, so it's all just like one steady flow, one ray of light, and all that. Like I guess there's different ways to express that, or like to talk about it, but it just feels really peaceful and natural, and so it's safe to accept those vibrations into your life. And then as you do, you're going to notice things that don't feel so good, and it doesn't mean, oh, I'm just not going to look at that. Make sure that you really fully address that vibration that doesn't feel so good, or if there's an actual upset there. Again, do the mirror exercise. But yeah, if it's something that you really can just like easily say no to, and that's it, then cool, and if something comes back or becomes an upset, then okay, you mirror it, and just always like take it one step at a time, but take the next step, I guess, like is my point. Like don't like be like, ooh, I feel there's something bad, but I'm just gonna pretend I don't feel it. You don't need to be afraid. Like there's nothing's gonna happen. Feeling your feelings is just gonna like take you where you want to go, not where you not want to go. Where you don't want to go. Yeah. Okay. So that feels good for this reading. Definitely some life purpose energy here, healing, taking you deeper with your purpose, but partly through nurturing yourself and through like kind of relaxing more deeply into it. And that's like very key and fundamental to your twin flame union right now. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this reading. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you liked the video, subscribe if you have not yet. Check out the links below. You can always book a discovery session if you want to learn more about how you can achieve harmonious union and get help doing that, and also life purpose and everything that goes along with that. So if you have blocks to healing your abundance or anything, I really recommend it. And the mirror exercise that I keep on mentioning is also linked in the book below, and I have it mentioned in some of my blog posts too. If you want to check out my blog section on my website, then you can mosey on over there. And I also do readings on it more regularly now again. So yeah, it's a good thing to supplement these readings if you like reading readings as well as watching them. So have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Love you. Bye.